Hey everybody, we are here day 31 of Junk Journal July 2023. Today's prompt is nostalgia. So I've been back and forth on this topic, trying to decide best way to tackle it. And I think what I want to do is I have this vintage Big Golden Book, Animal Stories. Let's see if we've got a copyright on us. 1944. And I think what I want to do is kind of go through it and pull out some images to do some bookmarks with. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. I really don't know for sure. Maybe. I kind of like that house there. I kind of like this box here. Let's see what's on the back. Yeah, we can do that. I'll leave those because those could be used for something cool. Let me get into my thought here. I a while back created some bookmarks, collage basically, and had them available for sale kind of at okay, stop looking at that and get into your thoughts here. Created some bookmarks, some collage bookmarks. I actually have some of them right here handy. Let's see what we got. I'm just down to a few, but I created them with the Tim Holtz people and on some they're on some Nat Geo magazine pages. My head hurts a little bit this morning. Magazine pages that I did with the Citrusol. So you can kind of see that they're really cool. That's the background that I used for them. But I'm only down to a couple more, and so it's been on my list to make some bookmarks for my upcoming fall shows. And so since we're doing nostalgia, we'll just use this old vintage book and see what we can come up with. I picked up this out of my cardboard box. It's a notepad, the cardboard of a notepad. And this was there was a little strip of paper on here, and I ripped it off and then I started reading it. Absurd, you see? Very absurd. So I think that's pretty funny. I'm going to set that aside. That may turn into a bookmark as well. But also on the back, there was a quote, and I thought it was kind of funny. For the world is a mountain of shit. If it's going to be moved at all, it's got to be taken by handfuls. And Allen Ginsberg, maybe? So anyways, I will, we will salvage that just because it's handwritten, and we'll put it in our vintage box and see what we can come up with, if anything. But we're going to use this cardboard here to create our bookmarks, I think. So let's jump into it. I'll probably only create a couple of them. I'll probably keep this pretty short. Mainly because I've got my box of all the ephemera I've created over this month that I kind of want to flip through and show you guys. So I want to do that. Where did my ruler go? Okay. And so I'll keep this kind of short with just creating some bookmarks, and then we'll do like a little show and tell without much telling, just mostly a lot of showing. So you can see what a month of ephemera building kind of does. So bookmarks, these are a pretty good size, I think, and they are 3, 4, 5, 6-ish, 6.5-ish inches. So we're gonna kind of go with that. Let's cut this down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do 6.5. Where are you at? Let's set you aside because we might need you. I'm going to trim this edge because it's kind of really worn. And then we'll see how many we can get out of this clean cut piece of thin cardboard. If we keep them about an inch, a little over an inch wide, then we should be able to get a good handful. So 1.5 inches, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's just cut and see what we come up with. And we can do them varying sizes, can't we? Because this is just what we're doing. Whatever we want to do, however we want to do it. But anyways, I had a good stash of bookmarks available for my spring shows, and I sold all but like 3 or 4 of them. They're simple pieces of art that people will use. What I've found is a lot of people, don't like to buy for themselves. They don't like to spend a lot of money on themselves. They feel guilty about it, I guess. And I've also found that some people are kind of hesitant to buy art because they need a purpose for it. It's like, well, what can I do with this? And it's like, you don't have to do anything with it. Nobody says you have to do anything with it. So if you do a piece of art that is functional, then people don't feel, quote unquote, as guilty to purchase it, because hey, it's a bookmark. I can use a bookmark. I always need a bookmark, you know. So people tend to hate to even say, but people tend to be more apt to buy your art if it's functional. I'm not that way. I will buy a piece of art just because I like it and I want it. I want it hanging on my wall or something, but so I'm not that way, but there are a lot of people that are. So you kind of have to, and this is just solely from my experience, so you kind of just have to keep that in mind. If you're struggling with your art selling, you know, maybe try to figure out a way to make it more functional. And see if that works. I don't know. I'm not any expert. I'm just kind of going by, I actually kind of want this the same size. I'm kind of just going by my experience. I owned an art store for a couple years, and we sold art supplies, and we had a huge workshop area, a studio area, workshop area, and we had a small gallery for local artists. So that's just kind of my experience, coming from what I've observed, with that. So anyways, just a little tidbit of information. For whatever it's worth. Maybe nothing, but let's see what we got here. I get my glue unclogged. Okay, try this again. Go ahead and be good and put a piece of paper down. I'm just gonna kind of do some images right now. I didn't get my word snippet box out. Actually though, I could pull some words out of this, out of the book that it came from. I could do that. Gonna kind of let it dry on this cardboard for a minute while I search for, actually let me go ahead and do this one too. I was hoping to salvage that really cool A, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. That's okay. That is A-okay. What I was gonna say is I would just do like a base again, and then from there figure out if I wanted words or what. Ooh, excuse me, goodness. So let's see if there's any words. Look at these sweet little fellows. Just what I want for breakfast. A sly tiger crawled through the grass. Yeah, we'll cut up the porcupine and the badgers. my friend Mary Ellen at Red Parrot. She's been doing Junk Journal July this whole month, and it's been really fun to watch her because she has started, she may have been doing this forever, but this is fairly recent that I've noticed her doing it. She'll do a page. She's doing hers as a journal, kind of like an art journal. She's creating in it one journal every day. And when she gets done doing like a collage in her journal, she looks to the Oracle of Nancy to give her some words. And the Oracle of Nancy is an old Nancy Drew book. And invariably she finds the best fitting words. It's so funny. Or words or sayings, and so it's like the Oracle of Nancy has come through again. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny to watch her videos and see that take place. So, anyways, that's what I kind of felt like when I was looking at this book page, to see if there was any words that could be used. So yeah. Anyways, that was just some cute funnies I thought of. It's really been a treat to see what everybody's been doing for Junk Journal July. I really have enjoyed it. But in that same breath, I will say, I'm kind of glad it's pretty much over. Kind of glad. It's a challenge to every day, A, think of a project, and B, carve out the time to create and video and upload and all that good stuff. And now I'm not one to edit, obviously. If you watched any of my videos, I'm not one to edit, but it is a challenge to commit to, and so it'll be nice to take a little break. Little bitty break. I just had the cutest idea. So this is the bookmark, and on top of the bookmark is his tail. How cute would it be to find some orange and black yarn as the tassel to that? How cute. I'll have to dig through my stash and see what I've got. Anyways, funny how randomness works like that. Okay. Ooh. Come on. It's possible that I will cover these with Mod Podge, just as an extra sealant, especially if these aren't gonna stick and stay. Don't make me get out my Weld Bond just for these little bitty snippets of paper. Sheesh. Ooh. I think I'll do that in one strip, and I think I'll since I have a little bit of weld bond on my little paddle here, we'll do it like that. Okay, moving on. I think what I'm gonna do with this one is, I think I'm gonna kiss cut this out. This book, I don't recall where I got it from, but oh, it stinks. I say it stinks. It just smells old, and not in an old book sort of way. I don't know if it came from maybe a smoker's house or what, but it smells old and musty, or old and not moldy, wet, like it's anything like that, but it just has a weird stinky smell to it. I don't like it. So so my thought process was to do this and fold it around so you could keep the whole image. But I feel like it needs something. Let's see if there's, this is a story about a fox. So I don't know if this is going to tell us what we need. I don't know what we need, but well, Shell. I kind of want to just, maybe if we collage, if we do some collage of book material, just words, then, oh. Well, just hang with me a minute. My thought process is there. Just bear with me a minute. some covering. Kind of lay it down. Let's see if that was enough. Yep, that's enough. Okay, so now let us glue the back of this house. Let us first do this. Give this house a little bit of character. This is some gold ink. Just tapping around the edges. Not a lot, but just enough to what stands out just a teeny tiny bit. And I want to completely cover this. To be sure I get the front door of the house on the front. And then we're going to fold and tuck. And I don't necessarily want these words to come over the back side. So you need to stay up there. I just want the house to come over. So let's trim you here. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get this house to wrap all the way around. But I don't want the extra words, the background words, to wrap around. Don't ask why. I don't know why. I just don't want them. Although, excuse me, it probably would have been a good idea to do, excuse me again, to do the back like that, but whatever. We didn't, and what's done is done. Okay, moving on. Oh, I was gonna see. Oh, that's cute. Cute little saying. I'll set that aside. It says, it was a lovely night, nice and cool, and the moon went in and out of the clouds, and not a soul did they meet except some bats and a couple of owls. Cute. So, any wise words about this house? I don't think we found any. That's why I just kind of did this. Just peeping through the window. Lovely night. Whisper through the cracks. How about that? Whisper through the cracks. Oh, Lord. What's the deal here? Okay. Carrying on. I think we'll do one more. This little mousy mouse here. And since these are on this really thicker cardboard, I won't do any stitching on these. Look at that mess. Look at that mess that I created. I won't do any stitching on these again because they're really thick. Cardboard. But we will punch a hole. I can find my hole puncher. And we will add some foof. If I can find my hole puncher. I really need to organize my tools. They are just over here. They're actually probably pretty dangerous in this situation. They're just kind of over here in some trays. And I kind of have to dig through them when I want, oh, right there in front of my face, when I want something. Clean up that mess. Okay. Trim the little mousy mouse. Well, that was pretty perfect. I got the spider and the mouse. Cute. Okay, what kind of saying could we do with these guys? The funny little mouse is what this is titled. Well, I could maybe do another one. Let's see, I hate to chip the... I don't know that I can fit him all. I might can do, let's see if we can do the mouse and the, yeah, let's see if we can do this guy. We'll leave that for something else. It's cute too. Oy. And put it over here on the glue mat so as to not make a mess. And this one's going to be kind of tricky because I'm right on the edge. A torn edge. So let's see if we can get... Oh, look at there. We still got the funny little mouse all intact. Okay. Cute. Okay, so let's see. We can find... I'm going to cut this and keep this or something, who knows. There was a little mouse who lived in a big house. That's cute. If she had to go to bed with her feet cold and wet. Let's see what else we got. We could do peeping through the window. It's kind of like a window, but maybe not. Let's do that. Peeping through the window. And then there was a little mouse who lived in a big house. Maybe. Where did that other piece go? Let's see if we can hit this with a little bit of the gold trim to make it stand out a little bit. I think that'll work. We're not going for any sort of crazy masterpiece here. We're just putting together some cute little bookmarks using an old little golden book. So there you have it. Okay. Now we are going to poke a little hole in everybody. I'm not a fan of spiders, so I'm kind of tempted just to poke a hole in the spider, but I won't. Although the chicken head's gonna get one. It's just the way it fell. Okay, everybody's got a hole. And now everybody's gonna get some gold edging. Yep. I don't know if you'll be able to see it so much on the back, but we'll do it anyways. That's really pretty on the tiger. These bookmarks are a bit thicker than what I would prefer as a bookmark, but to each his own. Maybe they won't be too thick for somebody else. Or maybe their cuteness will just win you over and it won't matter how thick they are, right? Is that what we're going with? Maybe that's the case. Well, I probably shouldn't have done this guy because he wraps around, but yeah, we'll go with it. So, there we have it, day 31 of Junk Journal July 2023. We have completed the whole month. I'll have to dig through my ribbons and find some matching floof to go at the top, but we created 3, 4, 5 little nostalgic bookmarks. I say nostalgic bookmarks. They're bookmarks out of a, excuse me, nostalgic book. So there you have it. Yeah. That's day 31 for nostalgia. And I think what I'm going to do now, let me check my time. Ooh. Okay, so I guess I'll do a separate video to kind of go over and show you guys what I did for all my ephemera. Yeah, I'll do that because I'll add these little tags, these little strings, and finish them up. And yeah, we'll do that. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this little adventure. I will be back with a little wrap-up video and kind of show you guys what all I've done this month. And then we'll call that done in the books. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and I'll be back soon enough. Bye for now.